All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line perpendicular through a point. So I have here line segment AB, and I want to draw a line that is perpendicular to AB that goes through point P. Now we're going to use a very, very similar folding technique that we did with our segment bisector just a few minutes ago. Remember, I had a segment bisector here where I took the segment and I folded it so the 2 points were on top of each other, made a crease, and that was my bisector. I'm going to do almost the exact same thing with a perpendicular, but I need to go through this point P. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just copy everything down on my sheet of paper. So I have point A, point B, and point P, and I'm going to go ahead and connect A and B. I don't need that anymore. Take my straight edge. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so now what I need to do is draw a perpendicular line through AB. Perpendicular, again, remember, means 90 degrees, right? So to do this, I'm going to go ahead and fold this paper in half. I'm going to fold it. I'm not going to put these points on each other. I'm not going to put A and B on each other because I don't want to make a bisector. But I'm going to keep it so the two lines are on top of each other. And I'm going to just scooch this paper over till I see this point P here. Okay, notice A and B, they're not on each other. Okay, but I'm going to put it so that the line is on top of each other, and this crease goes through that point P. I'm going to go ahead and make a crease, and now that line that I just made, this is my perpendicular. Now it's not a bisector, okay, but I do have right angles here. Okay, so I could say that if I call this intersecting point, let's call it Q. Okay, I could then say that angle PQA is 90 degrees. I could also say that angle PQB is 90 degrees also. So that's how I make a perpendicular line through a point. Now, one thing again, I just really want to stress this. I am not saying AQ is congruent to QB. That is not true. Okay, and if you took a ruler and measured it, that is not the case at all. These are not equal. All I did was just make a perpendicular line. I did it the exact same way that I made a segment bisector almost, where I took my line, folded it, so the lines were on top of each other, but I'm not putting the points on each other. This one is going through that point P. And that's how I get this perpendicular line through point P.